comfortable. Hello, everyone. My name is Leanne Furness, and I am coming to you from my darker craft room. This is a long overdue video, and I'm just popping on because I have time, and I'm just going to do it and get it done with. So I'm going to do two videos today. One I'm posting right now, going live, and it is the Post-it note holders that I promised. And then later on today, you'll see the personalized 2024 calendar you can come make. And then after that, next week, I'm going to focus on online exclusives because I don't think everyone understands what those are. I know I hardly do, and so I thought, well, most people don't. So let's get to our project. After this, I am going to link some documents right after I'm done with the information so that you can see that, so you can see the fun products I'm talking about and that fun, good stuff. All right, my phone's going crazy. It says I'm live, perfect. It doesn't really matter because it gets recorded. I'm live on YouTube and things. So if you want to comment and say hi, that's great. I can see that. Okay, the first thing that gets tricky when you make gifts is that you need to understand how to read a ruler. And I know elementary school, right? Back in elementary school. No, I've handed this out. This is from Connie Stewart, I believe. And it makes sense to me, but it made not that much sense to other people because when you look at our paper trimmer, we go this way, right? 0, 0 to 1. And so these little hash marks should kind of equal. So either way, you're going to be able to figure this out. And the other thing is the more you do it, of course, the better it is. And we have to remember that really 1/8 is equal to 2/16. And so then 2/16 really reduced down, right? Because we took to divide it by 2 because we don't want the biggest number or whatever. I don't know, whoever made that rule up, some mathematician might want to tell me. I don't know. But so then we go from 1/16 to 1/8. It's confusing. I get it. But this is what we're going to work on today. So I'm going to be giving you measurements 1/16, 1/8. So this I will have posted a couple different places and probably on my Facebook page, which if you're not on Facebook, I will also link it in my YouTube channel. That sounds like a lot of work. I'm not really sure how that works, but I can do it. All right. So off we go to the races. The first one we're going to do is, and I can't remember, I did not cut this. Okay, so here's my project. A post, so these are like sticky notes, your typical sticky notes, whatever, and you can make them as simple or as fancy as you want. So we're going to do something similar to this. This is made with our Memories and More in the main catalog. I thought I had this all written down, but oh well, we're just going to go with it. And therefore, okay, this will be great. So the first one, and it kind of depends on the size of your Post-it notes. So this Post-it note, technically, I'm going to show you how I figured this out. Well, if we went to centimeters, wouldn't that be handy? Is 1/4 of an inch, give or take a centimeter or a smidge. So you really want to have only 1/4 of an inch between your pieces that you score. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this down. And the reason I know it's 3 1/8 is because this measures 3 inches. And so I want it 3 1/8, and then it's going to be 8 inches because that's how we're going to wrap it around. So first step is, and I have this all ready to go on a PDF, so you will be able to either, if you are visual and you want to follow along, and if you're not a visual person and you want to look at the PDF, go for it. I'm just going to get some of this out of the way. I'm not sure why this pen is here. That's for the next one. Okay, so then we're going to cut it by 8 inches. So remember, a trimmer, 8 inches. Hopefully this is working. And It is today. What is it? Oh my gosh, November 29th. I just don't know where time flies. I don't like it. It's crazy. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and move my light a little bit out of the way. So now I need to score. So I'm going to score at 2.5, and that 2.5 from the going from this right to left versus left to right. I don't know, very confusing. And then 2 7/8. So again, 2 7/8. That's this hashtag. 2 7/8. 2 7/16, if I could read what I was writing. So really we're going to go, no, let me take that back. 2 7/8. So we are going to go 7/8. So I'm going to go ahead. I should have maybe like practiced a little bit more, but that just means 1 smidge, 1/8 away. So 2 hashtags away from the next number, right? So I'm going to go ahead. But see, then I get confused. Yep, 7/8. Okay, so the tiniest tiny one is the 16th. Let me zoom in this quick. Okay, this will be helpful. All right, so when you look at your trimmers, I'm just going to point this out because this is really the whole gist of this whole thing. Okay, so when you are going, this is 0, and then this is 1/16. I'll bring my ruler back in here. This is 1/16. See how that's small and just a tiny, tiny thing. And then we have 1/8 because that's really 2/16. This is really 3/16, but if you reduce it down, it's 1. Oh my gosh, it's 1/8. No, it's a quarter. Holy moly! Back up, rewind. Let's go here. Okay, so so this is 1. This is 1 1/4. This is 1 1/2. This is 1 3/4 and 2. Okay, so if we do 1 1/8, 2/8, same thing as 1/4, 3/8, 4/8, same thing as 1/2, 5/8, 6/8, 3/4, 7/8. Now let's look at the 16th mark. So that is these teeny tiny ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So if I'm going to score this at 2 7/8, so this was 2.5, and I'm going to move this over just a little bit, 2.5, and then I'm going to go ahead and 2 7/8. Let's count the eighths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, I would technically suggest you put it way up at the top so it's straight. Excuse my sniffles. And then I'm going to score down here to 6 inches. I'm going to pull this back up a little bit. You don't need to see it quite that close, but that was, I hope, helpful. Are you dizzy yet? I know I am. And I'm sitting here. Okay, so 6 inches and then 6 3/8. Whoops, let's bring that back down. 6 3/8. Now this one's a little trickier because on my trimmer, it's hard to see, but I'm going to do 6 and 1, 2, 3. It's not quite a quarter because it's 6 3/8. So it's between a quarter and a half. And you know you're in the right place. And I'm going to do the scoring. All right. I will try to zoom in like that a couple times today. Because really that's in essence, the whole fun thing. Now you're not going to be able to see the score lines very well. I'm going to make this go like this. Come on. Maybe go a little closer. I don't know. All right. So use a bone folder to burnish these score lines. And right now they're all going towards the inside of my holder. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab my Post-it note and Make sure that this all fits lovely. It looks lovely, doesn't it? Okay, and then you got to decorate it. That's actually the best part. This one I used the Delightfully Eclectic paper. It's a designer series paper that you can get. It's got a ton of sheets, so I would suggest you share it with somebody or buy a couple sheets, or share it because it's so much. But I use the letters and fussy cut out around the word notes. The other thing you can do is you can use this tiny little punch, which is what we're going to do today. You can do lots of different things to decorate the front. You can do nothing. You can just have, you can just have anything but a note, kind of thing. But you also can just print out note to self, like this one from last year, and just glue it on there and layer it with your circle punches. So really, it just matters on how much time you have and how much fancy you want to be. How fancy do you want to be? So basically, to get these letters, I punched out, let's see, and of course, nothing ever goes as planned. I mean, I had these cut, and then I got all flustered last time, and I thought, forget it. Okay, so we got the O. We need the N. So I'm going to go ahead and punch out my N, and I'm going to go down here, pull that out. And then if you have a Post-it note, because, we have those, and I'm using them, but it doesn't seem right to use the one I'm going to package. Just going to go ahead and grab a Post-it note and put that sticky part on there so I can punch where I want to punch and not have to worry about touching it. I mean, you could use take a pick tool. It kind of works the similar way. It's just not quite as fast. So we got N-O-T, and there's just a ton of these letters. So T and S, so that's perfect. We can just go ahead and cut that off. And as you can tell, I'm really not fussy cutting these. This was fussy cut. This isn't going to be because I don't have to. All right, so I'm going to go ahead, whoops, and because this is so little, again, use my Post-it note and slide that in, punch. Might as well do the S while we have it all cued. Punch. Now this is, what is it called? It is called the Best Label Punch. It's on our annual catalog on page 149. And you can, it comes with a bundle of an alphabet, which would be super cute. I've seen some really cute things made on Pinterest with that. It's kind of sad because like Christmas is just here. And I'm kind of done with making Christmas things because now I'm moving on to the next catalog. Can you believe it? Yes. The next catalog is going to be in your mailbox in mid-December. Spring is coming. I hate to even say that because it just seems wrong. Like it's not even winter yet. First day of winter hasn't even arrived. All right, so we got the word notes. I'm going to punch out with my double oval punch. I'm going to punch out my squiggly oval, and then I'm going to layer my lovely Post-it note thing. This is our tear and tapes. I'm going to pull this a little bit higher so you don't see my bad manicured hands. Wow, what is happening? So I'm going to go ahead and put this on. I should have muted my thing. And I'm just going to go kitty wampus like that because then I'm going to take your pick tool. It will kind of keep all angles anchored. So that's tear and tape. So you just have to tear it off. Comes in a roll. That is in our annual catalog as well with the other adhesives. and I'm going to go ahead. You know, there's lots of other products out there that are similar that are not Stampin' Up. I, of course, like Stampin' Up because that's just me. Okay, so if you follow my measurements, which I have this all, again, on a PDF, this front is going to be 2 3/8 by 3. And I've already stamped or cut that out. So I'm going to go ahead and use my Stampin' Seal. I think that's what it's called these days, Stampin' Seal. You know, I was not a fan of Stampin' Seal at the beginning, and now it's kind of growing on me. So if you want a little tutorial about it, this is 1.5 by 3 for the bottom. Let me know about this. It does take a little learning curve, and it's not perfect, but neither are any of the other adhesives out there, and it does hang on very well. Like, you know, once you put it on there, it's great. Now, you can either choose not to close this or close it. You can buy some magnets that are on, I'd say Amazon or in your handy dandy box stores, or you can use Velcro to close it. So what I would suggest if you're going to use Velcro is I have the 2 pieces of Velcro. You only need half of it because the reason is because it's such a strong, it's really meant for like wet fabric. So I don't want to use that scissors. I should have one of these on my table. Okay. This is what happens when you craft in 2 different spots. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and now I'm going to keep them stuck together so that when I put this on like that, I'm going to pull this off, hopefully, but leave the Velcro half dot on there and then close that. And then we have our Post-it note holder that looks something like this. All right, so that's number 1. That's the simple version. And that is basically my own measurements based on the size of my Post-it note. So if you, on coming next couple weekends, if you want to make some of these for family and friends, you can come on over on a Saturday or Sunday. I'm pretty open, actually. And we can figure out, if you have Post-it notes, we can figure out the measurements, or if you want to use my Post-it notes, I have some extras you can buy from me. All right, so that's our Post-it note simple version. Now let's get this out of the way. Now we're going to kick it up a notch, one of my favorite words, and we're going to add a pen holder. This is where I fell apart last time. Just so you know, this is my finished version, and I figured out what was wrong, and it took me some serious math to figure out, but you know what? That's okay, because that's how you learn, right? Okay, so this one, we're going to cut. This is based on what Christina Reyes put on her website, and it is cut to 3 1/4 by 7 1/4. And the reason it's a little bit wider is because that just makes it hold this pen. Now this pen is, again, something I have bought from Amazon, and I have tons. And a 3 1/4 and a 7 1/4 seems pretty straightforward, right? But when you start scoring at 3 7/8, 3 1/2, and 3 1/8, like what? So let's do that together. And I'm going to zoom in as soon as I get myself organized. Zoom in. We don't probably need that. So this is going to be cut. And again, I have these all on a PDF for you already because I had some time. So 3 1/4. Well, that doesn't help, does it? Oh my gosh, that's funny. Okay, stop. 3. So 3 1/4. Oh my gosh, I'm going to sneeze. Whew. Excuse me. Okay, and then I'm going to cut it 7 1/4. I think you guys all get that part, so I'm not going to really show you that part. But I am going to show you, and this is crushed curry I'm using. I am going to show you the scoring. So we are going to score 3 1/8. So that's 3. Scoot down here. And 1/8. Remember, this is 1/8. This is 1/16. So 3 1/8. So 3 1/8. My scoring blade. And then 3.5, which I think we all probably can do. And then 3 7/8. So that's just 2 hashtags, or, 1/8 away from the bigger number. I've said that multiple times, right? Okay, so now that doesn't look quite even. And so that's when you would want to go, did I do that right? 3 7/8. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, it does. I guess it does work. All right. It maybe wasn't quite straight, but we're going to make it work. All right, let me zoom back out. You don't need to see my palm because it is dry. Winter is here. Okay. Okay, so this one is a little more confusing because we want some slits to cut out. And so we have a pen holder. Now, how do you do that? Well, first of all, you have to fold all your score lines. And again, take your bone folder and give it some good score lines. Why am I so crooked here? Oh my goodness. And you got to kind of visualize what this is going to be. So this part, right? So this is where I get confused. So if you look at my template, this is the front, this is the back. That's important to remember. So this is going to be full on over. And this is going to be full on not forward. So I'm going to cut the back. I'm going to cut through all 3 of these. And I'm going to do 1 slit this time. And hope to goodness it works. Okay. It will. I know it will. Okay, so that's our slit. But to get the slit out, and again, this is my front. If you have to put a little Post-it note on it, or like a little, whoops, because you're going to cover this up anyway, right? So if I would go F, so I remember that that's my front, that would help. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and make that go so that it has that pocket. And then in reality, it makes more sense because then we're going to glue. I lied. It doesn't make any sense. Okay. This is not the front. Hello. All right. So this says the front, but I'm going to disagree. And I'm going to add another slit because I didn't do this well. So this is like my math gone crazy, and I'm not good at this. My engineering husband told me to figure it out. So that was helpful. So I'm going to, so the shortest of the 2 is your front. So yes, this is my front. And then this is my back. So I'm just going to do that back. And then I'm going to crazily pop these out and pop these in so that when I create this little fun thing, you can see that why it's important to know which is the back and which is the front, because that's where you're going to put your sticky strip. Okay, so this, I'm going to put sticky strip. And you got to do this a couple times before it really clicks. And apparently it hasn't clicked quite right yet. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put that sticky strip there. Now, if you want to do just 1 slit, that works. I don't know why I did 2. I just felt like it. And use your take a pick tool. Oh my gosh, I don't know what my nose is running for. I don't have a cold. I'm going to say it's allergies because I've been putting up Christmas decorations and those are dusty. And I'm allergic to dust. So maybe there's that. Not to mention, when you put up your Christmas decorations or your holiday decorations, you kind of dust things you haven't dusted for a while. So then therefore, everything is dusty. Okay, so this is going to be what our Post-it note holder looks like. Apparently, I don't have a Post-it note for this project. So let me grab one. In my handy dandy drawer. And we're going to use this color. And these are Post-it note brands, but you don't have to use Post-it note brands. So then this is going to go like that. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'm going to put this tear and tape. I'm going to do this a little bit bigger. This tear and tape, if I can find where it starts. There we go. Oh, I should ask for a fan for these for Christmas for my kids. They're like, what do you need, Mom? And you know what? It gets so hot with these bright lights, but I feel like the lighting's right. If you're watching this on replay, or I don't think anyone's watching live, but if you're watching this on replay, let me know if you think the lighting's okay. Is it too bright, too dark? What can I do better? I feel like I'm kind of back in the groove a tad. I try to rearrange my desk so that I can have a workspace, my computer, so I can do my graphics, and I can do a video and just have it all together. But if you know me, I like to rearrange. It drives some of my people crazy. All right, so then this front is just your 3x3, standard 3x3. And I'm using the paper from Inked Botanicals. And like I said, this is crushed curry cardstock. So I'm just going to go ahead and add that. Inked Botanicals 3x3. I don't know why that doesn't look solid. It's all good. Doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's going to go in someone's purse. And then I punched using the Petal Park punch right here. And I didn't want to stamp and punch because I was in a hurry, because I'm always in a hurry. So I just went ahead and punched a whole bunch from the paper. You know, make your paper work for you, because you buy it and then you might as well make it work. And then you can kind of squish it, just kind of squish it together and put it on. And then the just a note, looks like I don't have that. What I did with that is, again, I took some scraps and I stamped just a note and punched it out with a double circle, double oval punch. And then again, I have a pen that I had. It's going to go like that. And so that's Post-it note holder number 2. So that's a little bit more complex. It has a pen holder if you want the pen. Again, if you want to make these for this Christmas, this holiday, this giveaway, I have the products and I have all the parts of the projects. You would just have to let me know what day you want to come. And I'm pretty open. I do have to do some Christmas shopping, obviously, but I would be happy to help you out with this. We can make some things. I don't know. I'll figure out the cost. It'll be relatively simple because, well, I have all of it here. Okay, so that's number 2. Again, there's going to be a PDF posting of all of these because they're each a little bit different. This is the more complicated one, which don't let that freak you out. All right. What's going to freak me out is I don't know where oh, there it is. Okay, so here's the measurements for the Post-it holder with, good Lord, I can't even talk, with the pen on the top. Now, you might want to make sure that your pen fits or whatever, and maybe you don't even want to give a pen. So then I wouldn't go through all this hassle doing this because this is more complicated, right? The minute you have a pen holder, come on. The minute you have a pen holder, it creates more complication. So go back to the beginning one and use the simple, just cover it up and you're golden. But if you want to get fancy, I know some of you love fancy. Most of you don't. I don't even know why I'm showing you the fancy, but I'm going to show you the fancy. All right, so we are going to use, this is Misty Moonlight, and I'm going to cut it to 3 1/8. Again, let's review 3 1/8. And when you watch my next video with the calendars, you're going to have the same kind of instructions because that's really what it's all about. And then 9 inches goes over here. And then we're going to score. So I'm going to move you back down. I'm going to move my trimmer so we can see the numbers. Okay. So according to my little map here, and that's on my, hopefully you'll be able to see it on my PDF. So I'm going to go 2 1/8. So that's 2 1/8, which is the 2, the second hash, and then 2 7/8, which is 2 little hashes on the opposite towards the bigger number, the next number, and then 3 1/4, and then 3 5/8. Now this might be the hardest one, I think. So I always have to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not quite, you know, it's not, and then 6 3/4. That's pretty simple. 6 3/4, and 7 1/8. So let me just remind you, 7 1/8. Oops, like that. All right, just like that. Okay, maybe, you know, pro like not. I think there's probably a smoother way to do that. Maybe I'll figure it out someday. Maybe I won't. I don't know. Who knows? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and again score these. And again, we have to cut a slot for, that doesn't look right at all. This is not right. So cut a slot for our yeah, that was not right. Okay, whoever's watching me live, you should have just shouted at me and said, hey, that's not right. So now I have an extra score. That's okay. I scored at 2 1/4, not 2 1/2. This is how we learn. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll just cover that little extra score up. You won't even be able to see it on the TV, on the video. Okay, so in theory, we're going to put a slit, really, right? It's going to be complicated. Okay, so I want the opposite of what I just did. So I'm going to go ahead and cut from the top. Remember, this is the top. I'm going to cut from here, here. I'm going to cut the bottom 3. So I'm going to take my scissors, the bottom 3. So what that means is 1, here's 1, 2, can't really see that, maybe you can, and 3. So I'm going to cut a slit here and here for my pen. Remember, this is a oopsie. So this is the 2 1/2, 2 7/8, and 3 1/4, and 3 5/8. So, oh wait, maybe that's not an oopsie. Maybe it is. I don't really know. See what I mean? These get complicated. And if you're going to make these for like a craft show, you're going to want to kick up the price because seriously. Okay. It's kind of working. Okay. So then my Post-it note would go in like this. And I have it wrong. Da, 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 da. Okay. Do as I say and not as I do. I'm just going to make this a little bigger so I can figure out what the heck. This is the one that I was just like, I can't do it. But I can. I did it. I did it. So it helps to have one in person. Okay, so let's just look at it that way. Let's make it look like that. And then, see, I don't know. People who do all these little fancy fold box things, they're crazy. I don't get it. Okay, I'm just going to say don't make these. That's what I'm going to say. Because you want the pen part to be, oh my gosh, you guys, this is crazy. So this part's where the Post-it note goes. This part's where the pen rests. This part is down. And this part's down. And then Oh, I cut the wrong thing. See? Oh my gracious. Follow my instructions, not my brain. Okay, so I'm going to sticky this down and then you'll see. So you're going to, whew, this whole last one gets stuck down. So again, you can come over and we can figure it out together. If you want to get fancy with pens. If you don't want to get fancy with pens and you still want to come over and figure it out, that's fun. And I love stamping with friends. So we're going to do that. And then we're going to do that. No, that's not correct. That is not correct at all. Okay, we're not making these. I like that. I'm just going to say throw in the towel. Okay, so this goes down. But that's not going to work. Oh my gosh, you guys. Seriously. Okay, I'm just going to stop at this one. If you want the instructions, look at my instructions and let me know if you can make it work. Seriously, it shouldn't be this hard. But the first Post-it note was super, super simple. So whoops, I'm going to go ahead and switch my camera back and say thank you for joining. And I'm sorry it's so dark. And I'm going to do hopefully a tutorial on calendars, right? And it'll be posted later today. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think.